I want to share with you a clip from a coaching call this week with one of my students who is a freelance web developer. He focuses on doing websites and SEO for his customers and is struggling to understand why, when he offers custom everything, it's challenging for him to get customers, as well as why customers don't want to cover the cost of having everything built from scratch. Here's the clip.
Yeah, that is a very common problem that a lot of freelancers and business owners tend to face when they are focused on doing custom. So custom is it's very hard to do. A lot of businesses that do custom actually end up not doing custom. They end up doing customized, which is orders of magnitude simpler than custom in itself. So if you think of, say, a home builder that offers people the ability to do custom homes, they don't actually give them the ability to actually fully do a fully custom house. What they do is they give them a choice between, say, 5 different blueprints. Of those 5 blueprints, maybe the kitchen has 4 different variants. Of those 4 variants, each has maybe 10 or 15 different styles where you can choose the cupboard, the countertops, and customize everything. Now, the reason why they do that as customized rather than custom is with customized, they have this ability of building almost a library of stuff that works. They can vet it, they know it works really well, they can invest in building that library once and then use it over and over and over again. If you're doing custom, all of that work, the cost of all of that work needs to be borne by the customer itself, right? So right away, you enter this market with a very, very high price point, just because the customer now has to handle all of the costs, all of the revisions, all of the changes. And also the customer has to be sophisticated enough to understand why they're covering all of the costs, all of the revisions and everything like that. Whereas with customized, you have this set layout that works. The structural integrity of the house already works. The way the kitchen is laid out, they're going to be able to run all the gas lines and the electrical, and there's not going to be any problems. Whereas with custom, you have to go through that process manually, and then when you find errors or deviations, you've got to go through and implement them manually, which again, the cost of all of that's borne by the customer. Now, to look at it from the perspective of your business, because you're doing SEO and web design, if you're offering your customers the ability to do everything custom from scratch, the cost and the amount of time it takes to do that is going to be a bit higher than your competitors. And like you said, you're struggling to understand why everyone else is charging much lower and your customers are flocking to them rather than them coming to you. What I would challenge you to do is see if you can do something similar to those home builders, where you have not fully custom, but you have customized. So maybe you have 5 or 10 different layouts that you use on your websites, and then give them the ability of customizing it with their logo. Maybe they can change some colors here and there, but the general layout stays the same. Content is can be relatively cost effective to change, so focus on changing that rather than, again, having the customer cover the cost of designing everything and then building everything and then implementing everything. Custom is, I don't want to say custom is bad. Custom is very hard to do effectively. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, the key objective of your business is to do something that's repeatable. If you're doing something that's custom, that's one off every single time, it's challenging to make that repeatable. It's challenging to be able to generate higher margins, to be able to build a business. Freelancers focus on custom everything, mostly because I believe a lot of freelancers, and I look back to when I was freelancing, it's more about the trade craft and the challenge of building the new stuff than it is about the business aspect. When you cross that threshold of you're satisfied with the challenge, you're satisfied in the confidence you have knowing you can take on any sort of project, and it comes to building a business, that's really where you have to assess, do you want to even approach something that's custom, or do you want to turn those clients away and refer them to someone else that handles custom? Ideally, the most effective way to build a business is to solve one problem exceptionally well. If you can solve one problem exceptionally well, you're going to find that it's going to be much more efficient to scale. You're also going to find your ability to get customers is going to be a lot easier than when you're doing custom. You're trying to be everything to everyone, right? So in your case, one strategy you might put in place is maybe build websites only for dentists, right? So you have a content library of, say, 3 or 4 different variants of the website, but you only focus on dentists. If your customer's not a dentist, you don't work with them, refer them to someone else. By doing that, what you're going to find is you're going to understand the needs of that customer so much more that the website you deliver to them is going to be far more value packed and far more cost effective than any of your competitors who are just doing web design or SEO just for SEO or web design's sake, right? So give that a try and let me know how that works out for you.
I hope you found that clip useful. If you are a freelancer like this student and you're struggling to get customers predictably, or you're a business owner that's offering custom everything, and again, you're struggling to get customers predictably, in the description below, you'll find a link for a free one-on-one session. It's not a sales pitch. I just want to understand what you're doing in your business and point you in the right direction to help you get customers more predictably.